Hey guys, Inder this side from 24/7 Everything. Hope you all are doing great. We are again back with another video and this time it's on Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 related to a new custom ROM which is based on Android 11, and this particular custom ROM is developed by Sagar Makkar. So let's begin with that. So on my phone screen you are able to view that Android 11 version, then security patch level of September 5, 2020. Beside to that kernel version 4.4.215 Zen Plus, and this is a build number and so on. So last year, Sagar Makkad has provided us Android 10 AOSP version, and this year again he has provided Android 11 AOSP version. So in this particular video, we'll touch each and every part. So after about section, now let's move to the system section. So in system section, the very first thing is gesture, and in gesture, we'll discuss about system navigation. So now in Android 11, you will see that 2-button navigation is missing. So either you will find 3-button navigation or directly the gesture navigation. And aside to that, you will see power menu. So let me show you how. So if you will be tapping on power menu, so on Android 11 it is looking like this, like power off, restart and so on. And beside to that, on Android 10 or Android 9 it was showing like a pop-up on just beside to this power menu section. So if you want to turn on these device controls, so let me show you. So these are the device control. If you want to turn off, you can just toggle it and it will be removed from here, but it's your wish to keep it or not. After gesture, the next thing that is available in this system section is related to system update. So basically, photo updater checker is available, but not sure it is working or not. If someone will be trying this around 30th of September or 2nd October, then they might be using it for at least, I would suggest them to use it at least 7 to 10 days, and they can again check that whether this particular check for update is working or not. So after system section, now let's move to the security. So in security, PIN, pattern, password swipe, all are working absolutely fine. Aside to that, fingerprint scanner is also working fine. You will see, I would say, very minor latency or sometime like your finger is not detected, but it is again 1 out of 10 times. But aside to that, fingerprint scanner is working absolutely fine. There is a bummer like face unlock option is not available. So again, this is a AOSP build and the initial build. So maybe whenever they will be patching with the next version, I'm talking this from a other custom ROM developer side. So we will surely be able to view those face unlock and so on. So after security, now let's move to storage section. So with respect to internal storage, yes, it is working absolutely fine. But with the portable storage, or I would say external storage like SD card, it is showing us disk, like the disk is corrupted and so on. And even I haven't asked to try to like format it, but even I will recommend you not do it, because not sure whether this particular functionality will result into some disaster in terms of your SD card and so. So after storage section, now let's move to sound section. So as I'm using version 087 firmware on this particular, because it is a recommended by developer that you should use the latest version. So with respect to Android Pie, I'm using 087. So whatsoever sound quality or audio quality I'm getting in 087 is the same I'm getting in this particular version. If you will be using 084, 082, maybe some Android 10 beta version, although I haven't tested with the Android 10 beta versions, but if you will be using, then you might be viewing the same audio quality and sound quality with respect to their corresponding firmware versions. So after sound section, now let's move to the battery section. And in battery section, the very first thing that we will be going to discuss is battery charging time. So it took nearly about 2 hours and 57 minutes to fully charge my phone from 0 to 100%. So it's really good that under 3 hours we are able to charge our phone from 0 to 100%. And again, let me confirm you, I'm not using the default shipped battery, or I would say charger with this particular ROM. I'm using the compatible 10-watt charger. So some users have asked that, brother, which charger you are using? So I'm using Oppo's 10-watt charger. So I would also recommend that whatsoever compatible 10-watt charger you can look for, you can try to charge your phone, and you will surely be seeing significant changes as compared to the default charger shipped with this particular phone. And aside to that, ideal battery drainage, yes. So I have seen 4 to 5% of batteries draining over a span of 8 to 9 hours and sometimes 9 to 10 hours. But on an average, I am considering it as over a span of 8 to 9 hours, you will at least see 4 to 5%. It will be really great if you will see lesser, but if it will be more than 10%, then I will really recommend to do the battery calibration. So after battery charging time and ideal battery drainage issue, or I would say stats, now let's move to the battery consumption with respect to the gaming. So unfortunately, we can't review PUBG as of now, but from the Call of Duty's perspective, let's begin with that. So these are my graphic qualities, that is medium, and this is my high, like frame rate as an high. So by using this particular game settings, like I have analyzed the gameplay of nearly about 1 hour of gameplay by playing 2 to 3 times. So at most I have seen 14 to 15% of battery is being consumed over a span of 1 hour of gameplay. And aside to that, I have also noted down the temperature reading. So before starting the gameplay, the temperature of my phone was 36 degree, and as soon as I completed the gameplay, it was nearly about sometime 40 and sometime 41. But I am considering 41 as an highest part. So you can whenever you will be doing or reviewing this part at your side, so you can match those things. So after battery part, now let's move to the connected devices. So usually in connected devices, I do analyze two things. One is Bluetooth devices and another is screencasting. So for Bluetooth devices, it is working absolutely fine, be it for file transfer or audio via Bluetooth devices. So there is no such problem with that. But with screencasting, there is a bug. So firstly, on AMD based laptop, I am unable to try connect it. But on Intel based, I am able to connect it. But whenever I try to connect, my phone gets restart. So this is a known bug. So hopefully this will be resolved in the coming builds. So after connected devices, now let's move to the network and internet. So from the network and internet part, firstly we'll discuss Wi-Fi calling. Yes, it is working absolutely fine, be it for Jio SIM or Airtel SIM. In both, for both the SIMs, Wi-Fi calling is working absolutely fine. Now let's focus on the call recorder and native video call option. So still it is not available for both, or I would say both the options are not still available. Apart to this Wi-Fi connectivity, so although it is working absolutely fine, but sometime I have seen a very minor issue in terms of connectivity. So again, it is 1 out of 10 times. So I won't say that this is a bad, but again, like I have faced, that's why I'm sharing with you. Aside to that, mobile internet or mobile internet calls and SMS, there is no issue that I have faced at my side. It is working absolutely fine. So after that, but those sections, now let's move to the quick settings. So developer or whatsoever in this particular AOSP based ROM, all these settings whatsoever are available are listed here, except one the one that is dump sys UI heap. So I'm not using this part, or I don't want, that's why I've excluded. But in these there are few things or few settings which are not working. So like invert color, so let me show you. If I'll turn it off, turn it on, then invert color is not working. Even night light is also not working. So these are the known bugs again. And aside to that, like inbuilt screen recorder functionality is available, but again it is working absolutely fine except the internal audio scenario. Not sure why it's not working. And apart of this, all other functionalities are working absolutely fine, be it flashlight, dark theme toggle, and so on. So there is no such problem with that. So after quick settings, now let's move to the default app shift. So these are the default app shifts. So you can see that all those are very older versions of phone, messaging, contacts, and so on, because this is a AOSP version. So, but like I have installed my separate apps like for phone, messages, and contacts. Aside to this, now let's focus on a play protection certification. So unfortunately, this particular device is not certified out of the box, but I have installed Magic's Canary version. If you want, I'll be providing you each and everything in the installation part, and you can do it. But I haven't done the Magic side to rectify this particular issue because I want to show you. So after play protection certification, now let's focus on the what's the firmware version needed for this particular part. So I've already discussed that in the earlier version that as per developer, it should be latest available firmware version. So at my side, I'm using Android Pie 087. So if you will be using 082, 084, then you will be seeing some significant changes, might be some bugs or some issues. But I will really recommend to use 087. So now let's focus on the status of camera to API. So by default out of the box, or with this particular ROM, we are getting level 3 support. And aside to this Wide1 certification, so at my side it is showing me L3 because it has been persisting since the time I have flashed Android 10 beta 1 version. So if it will be at like L1 at your side, then most probably it will be showing L1 at whenever you will be flashing this ROM. Apart to this, they have provided one stock camera which is Google Camera Go. It is working absolutely fine. And aside to this Gcam, I have tried Gcam 7.x version, but that was not working at my side. So if someone will be able to like run that, then do let me know in the comment section below, and I'll surely try at my end as well. So now let's focus on the benchmark score. So firstly, I'm using Antutu benchmark score. So on my screen, you are able to view like it is showing us 1,43,694, and aside to these are the consolidated part on the basis of CPU, GPU, memory management, UX or UI. And aside to that, Geekbench scores. So from a CPU's point of view, 272 is a single core score, 1159 is multi-core score, and aside to that, on the basis of computation using OpenCL, the scores are 441, and again it is not working with the Vulkan API. Now after benchmark scores, now let's focus on our RAM and memory management. Let me open few apps like, so let's open Call of Duty. So you can see it is just connecting to server, but it has opened from the very same window or a screen where we have left while creating this particular video. And let's open few other apps like Geekbench 5. Now let me open Antutu. So this is a problem with Antutu. It will trigger, but it will again be showing you from the same screen. So there might be some sort of app paradigm which is initiating. So again, camera to API or camera to probe API. So all in all, there is no problem with the RAM and memory management. It is working absolutely fine. Now, before we jump into the installation part, let's focus on the overall review part with respect to each and every bug or functionality. My overall review score for this particular ROM is 75 out of 100. But again, I really want to thank Sagar Makkad for this particular AOSP Android 11 based ROM, so that we can try and, or I would say test and try before other custom ROM developer will be providing us. So buddy, really thanks from my side and even from the overall community, whosoever will be using this part. Now let's focus on the installation part. So for the installation part, I have already created a dedicated article on my official blog. The URL for the same will be provided to you in the description section below, so that you can go over afterwards. So let's begin with that. So nothing major has been mentioned in this, few links, how to download and what's the prerequisites and so on. So firstly, this is a link for the ROM. You can just tap it here and download it. You have to flash GApps separately. Again, this is a GApps and it is recommended by developer Sagar Makkad. So I would recommend that use this, otherwise you will face few issues if you will be using some other GApp versions. And like I have told you that I have installed Magix Canary version because normal Magix was not working. So this is a link from my blog where you can find how to download, and these are the corresponding videos where I have listed out each and every step how to install it. But let me show you the Magix version. So this is a Canary version, or I would say Magix Canary version, which is different from the normal one. Now after downloading all those things, before installation part, these are the prerequisites like backup your data, charge your phone battery at least 50% or more, but I recommend always 80% or more. Then firmware version needed 087 because this is a latest one. If you want to try any older, then you can try, but I won't recommend it because it is not recommended by developer. Apart to this, bootloader should be unlocked, custom recovery should be installed. If you are not familiar, then you can install by viewing these helping, or I would say YouTube video URLs. Afterward, final installation of Android 11 AOSP ROM using TWRP custom recovery. So these are the steps: format data, wipe cache. Dalvik is optional data system vendor. Afterward, just install this Android 11 AOSP ROM and flash the GApps. And apart to this, reboot your phone, and it will hardly take 5 to 10 minutes to initiate the phone setup process, but it is taking more than 15 minutes. Then I will recommend to restart your phone. Last but not least, finally enjoy the beauty of Android 11 with this Android 11 AOSP ROM on your beloved handset, that is Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. Before we jump into the TWRP custom recovery mode, these are our social handles. You can either subscribe us or follow us. So let me just restart my phone to the recovery mode. So finally, we have been booted to the TWRP recovery mode, and this is the I would say home page or a home screen of that particular app. So according to blog, firstly, I would recommend you to take backup of each and everything in your internal storage if it is needed at your side, in your external storage like SD card, laptop or whatsoever. So just tap on wipe. Afterward, you have to tap on format data. Just tap yes to confirm it. So it will hardly take 5 to 10 seconds and formatting will be done. Afterward, you have to move back, again back. This time you have to tap on this button, that is advanced swipe. So you have to select cache, data, system, vendor. Dalvik is like optional, but I'm going to do that part. So swipe to wipe it. And now we have completed the initial step. Now we are good to go with the installation part. So for that, you have to tap on install button. Afterwards, select storage and select the micro SD card or OTG pen drive, whatsoever you are using. And afterward, these are the files. Like above one is the ROM, that is AOSP, XOO, TD, and so on, and GApps version. Firstly, we'll be tapping on this particular version, then swipe to confirm flash. So it will take nearly about 4 to 5 minutes to install this particular version. So let's wait till the time it completes, and afterward we'll flash the GApps. So finally, the ROM installation process has been completed. Now we are having two options, either reboot system or wipe cache Dalvik, but I'll be doing wipe cache and Dalvik. And again, now we will not be going to reboot because we have to flash GApps. So this is a GApp version. Just tap it here and again swipe to confirm flash. Again, it will take nearly about 3 to 4 minutes, or at least at most 4 to 5. So at my side, it is saying that it is already done. So let's complete it on wipe cache Dalvik and swipe to wipe it. Now we are good to go with the reboot system. So now it will take 4 to 5 minutes to I would say start the, or I would say initiate the phone setup process. So let's wait till that time. So this is the Android I would say boot screen, or I would say progress screen whatsoever, and afterward it will instantiate or start the phone setup process. So after completing that part, it has directly booted to the home screen, and afterward if you want to instantiate your phone setup process in terms of play protection, you just tap on I would say Google Play Store, and afterward you have to sign in and so on. So from developer side, he has provided, or he has tried to cut down your time while testing this particular ROM. So that's why we haven't saw that particular phone setup process. And now let me show you that this is a bare bone structure which has been shipped with this particular ROM. We have already tried this when I have shown you in default tabs, but just from the confirmation part, let me just move to the about section again, and afterward Android 11, and this is the same thing that we have discussed. So this has also been verified. So from my side, this was all in terms of, I would say, AOSP 11 version ROM, or I would say Android 11 AOSP version or AOSP ROM, which has been provided by Sagar Makkar. Hope you like this video. If you really like this video, kindly share this with your friends and family, and apart from this, please subscribe to our channel, because this will surely motivate us and boost us to create more videos like this in the coming future. Finally, it's the time to sign off now. Bye for now. Thanks.